Steve Sibo alipewa nyumba, amenunuliwa nyumba na tumeona yeye akiwa mpya hivi na hizo vimbo wewe kama mheshimiwa unawajua na unamjua, uliona ungemwekea standards ndio aendelee like kuwa tu mkali, kwa sababu kuna kitu mmemwanzishia.
What's up, viewers of Mungai Eve Media and Eric Mukabwa, and as you can see, we are live from Ongate Rongai at the Thanksgiving concert of the one and only Deno Music. Pia unaweza kumwona tuko naye, na pia we have the CEO Music Copyright Society of Kenya, Mr. and Dr. Ezekiel. Yes. Yeah, Dr. Ezekiel. Nimeheshimu. Mko vipi lakini?
Tuko sawa kabisa. Tuna celebrate, tunasherehekea. Unaona Deno ako na furaha. Tena ameandama, unaona jinjaki. Sasa yani leo tumejitolea, tunawachosha kuwachosha. Kwa maana 15 years in the music industry is not a joke. Many people came and disappeared within a year or two. Deno is the evidence that disability is not inability, that you don't have to succumb to your situation, that you can give hope even when people expect you to be the one who is an object of pity. Deno has refused that narrative. He has refused to be an object of pity. What he wants is support, celebration, watu wa kusimama na yeye, watu wa nguvu. Ndio maana leo nimekanzo vitu zote nikasema Deno siku ya my brother. Yes, na nimeshukuru sana kumuona ako na marafiki wengi. I think Deno represents the best in our society, the spirit of resilience, overcoming obstacles and odds and ensuring that we soldier on. And what I like about Deno is the fact that he has remained steadfast. He is not the kind of people who are seeking for views and shares on social media. Hata kama wimbo yake iko na like moja, hiyo wimbo inakaa wimbo ya iko na maadili, wimbo inaimiza mambo ya utu na ushirikiano, and I think is a perfect example what music should be. So we came to celebrate him. You know, we love you, to tell you congratulations on your anniversary, 15th anniversary in music industry. You have done well, and we believe the future lies ahead. You have a brighter future ahead. There's more music to produce, and we have come here to support you with everything that we have, our physical presence, our prayers, our money, and everything that we can to ensure that you soldier on. And so you have a brother in me, on my own behalf and on behalf of Music Copyright Society of Kenya. We came to say we love you as our member. We have now new programs that are geared towards mentorship and support. We have revived MCSK Foundation, and we are hoping that going forward, you will be able to benefit from these programs. You came to the office and I explained these things to you, and today I decided to come and stand with you during your event.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a conversation with Deno earlier, but Daktari, a few weeks ago uliweza kutuambia kwamba unfortunately gospel artists ndo wamekuwa akikuletea noma mashida sana tangu ingia MCSK. And I'm so happy to see you in an event, gospel music.
Absolutely.
Please tell us what are your plans concerning this whole story? Wamekusumbua tu uko kwenye events pia za gospel, tuambie.
Kwanza niseme sio wote wamenisumbua. Deno tunjawahi kuwa na shida. Unaona, muziki wake ni safi, ni mzuri. Tukiwa na mipango kama hii, unaona, tukipanga kitu tunafanya on time, we stick to date. You know, some of these the challenges that we face is when you shine, then you forget that to whom much is given, much is expected. Si kwamba nilikuwa nasema ati wamenichosha vile. I don't get involved in people's lives. But I tend to think gospel musicians should lead the way in defining the future of our music. And so when you find that they are leaning more towards secular, it's a very big disappointment for me. Because you're already having a challenge with secular music that is going wayward. A secular music that is promoting lesbianism and bad manners and cultures that are not our own. Now, if we are going to be dealing with the Christians who ought to be the light and the salt of the world, then you can see there's a challenge. So it was not because of anything personal. But then there are also all these challenges about discipline and personal etiquette, that if you have an event and it's this time, you keep to the time. If I give somebody, there's a musician, a big musician, and majority of them are like that. You give them an appointment, somebody comes 3 hours later. And they have kept you and they are not apologetic. You know, so you look at this and say, well, there's a problem, because this is a person who should have led the way. That sense of entitlement, you know, the sense of entitlement. Hata wengine unaonanga naongea na bishops, unasikia uchungu. Mabishops wengine wamesema hata our big musicians they will not be performing in their churches kwa maana kuna shida. So my comment was in terms of hey, let's have a self introspection, because tukiendelea namna hii na si ndio tunategemewa, itakuwa shida. Na sisemi kwamba secular music does not give advice, does not give moral values. It does, but I would expect more from gospel musicians who know the way, and I would expect them to give me less trouble. So these are the issues we are speaking about. We are going through challenges, mental health issues. Majority of the people that we are dealing with are actually gospel musicians, because they've been caught in this kasumba, their views and shares on social media, and that's what we are trying to redefine. And some of them also to understand how music corporate society works. The day I posted that comment, and a very big beef with one of the leading gospel musicians who was saying, he doesn't see what the work of CMOs. And I was like, sitamtaja, lakini I was like, if you are a member of a circle or a football club, you don't condemn unless you're outside, because MCSK is voluntary. So I was like, we can talk, we can have a way of ensuring that we have structures, and we don't seem to be condemning our own. This toxic spirit, which is also in the you can see people condemning government, you're not providing solutions, is also a problem. So this is what we are dealing with. Yeah.
Now, Daktari, because we have seen you in this event, and I know what many people will ask is, are we going to see you also in other events? Because you're the CEO of the Music Copyright Society of Kenya. Are we seeing you also in other events? Not necessarily.
Tomorrow I'm in Gatundu for Garuya Junior. He has a big event at Gatundu Stadium. I mean, we are all over. So we don't discriminate. Where we are invited, we go, but we try as much as possible to ensure that we support all our members. Yeah.
Lastly, jana tuliweza kuona you stated something about maandamano, because there was a picture that was going viral of this lady.
Yes.
And it didn't go well with most Kenyans.
It didn't go well with me either, because I think that when I saw that policeman brandishing the rungu on that mama, I felt very bad. It hurt to the core, because even in times of war, women and children are supported, they are protected, or at least spared the wrath of such. And you could see this woman was not part of the skirmishes. She was just crossing the road. That officer should have held her hand, even help her with that load she was carrying on her head, cross the road and escort her to safety. But instead, he seems to be very casual with an old woman brandishing that rungu. So that is what really annoyed me. And I think it's a retrospection also on the part of the police. They need to be trained to be human. I think utumishwa wote means exactly that. And to see someone treating an old mother like that speaks about the moral, the where we are, the moral decay, where we have lost our values, we have even no respect for our elders. In a normal situation, like I've said, even at war, even during times of war, women, children, and people with disability, they are supported. But I think you see that catch even when you get into a public service vehicle and you find an elderly mother or a pregnant woman, she's standing and someone is seated, and you not feel anything. It's not just that policeman. It is just a rotten culture that we have allowed to become as normal. So I think we need to have a conversation on how to restore our moral values. Yeah.
And of course, saidia labda polisi watajitetea, but what's the way forward? Because of course kumesemekana kutakuwa na maandamano, of course kutakuwa na security. Way forward ni gani ili kuepuka mambo?
You nasema, when people call me Kenya's moral cop, I feel bad in a way, because all of us should be moral cops. All of us should be promoters of kindness and goodness, positive social values. So I think that's the conversation we need to have, from the family level to the church to institutions of learning to the corporate boardrooms. We need to have a conversation about just being good people, being human. If we can have that conversation, society will not become as toxic to the point where that guy feels nothing. I think all of us can have a conversation with ourselves on how we can become better human beings, to support one another, not torture one another, not injure one another, not wish each other, bad things, but support and wish each other well. Yeah.
Mheshimiwa, naitwa Eric Mkabwa. Nashukuru kuona. Na swali kuhusu huyu kijana yetu anaitwa Vaida Haririchi. Nikinukuu ulisema kuwa yeye angekuwa ameregister kwa na MCSK.
No, he's a member.
Angekuwa na pesa nyingi sana.
No, what I was saying, unajua wakati ule alitoa ule wimbo wake alikuwa na trade. Nilienda kwa waziri Ababu na Mwamba. Nikamwambia unaona huyu kijana saa hizi MCSK ingekuwa na license na tuwe tunaokota because music goes with waves. Huyu kijana angenunua nyumba na ngari, huu ndio msimu wake. Ni kama msimu wa kuvuna. But when that someone produces a song like that, it will trade for a while and alafu iache kutrade. Kama wakati ule ilikuwa ina trade hatukumuokotea. You will never recover because music works with waves, seasons.
Wakati wimbo ulikuwa mpya kabisa, niliona picha zikienda mitandao viral sana mkiwa na yeye na kama mnasaini makaratasi. Kwa nini labda hakusaidika na tunasikia anateseka sana?
Hatukusaini makaratasi, alitutembelea. Ni member wetu.
Ako hapa.
Allah. My brother, this is a hero. Why are you staying away? Good to see you. Yeah. So, my brother here visited me and he's a great guy. And I wish we could support. And that's why we were using him as an example. And we told waziri kama wakati huo tungekuwa na leseni na tungekuwa tunamuokotea. Wakati huo hiyo wimbo kwa maana ilivuma na ni nyimbo nyingi zinatoka. So what I was saying is music works with seasons. Now probably I don't know, he's here. I don't know whether it is trading as it used to. Lakini kuna muziki unatoka kama huo wake ulikuwa unachezwa kwa matatu, kwa radio stations, kwa hasa upande wa Western. Wakati huo ndio ulikuwa wakati wake wa kuvuna. So the argument and why I used him as an example is because he did a great music, great song. But now nimesema ni kama shamba lako umepanda. Msimu wa kuvuna umefika. Na wakati huo hata hakuna mtu anakusaidia, hakuna soko. Wale wanatakiwa kusaidia wako. That's what I was saying. Right now we have a license until 2024. Now I now challenge him to produce a hit. Uone. Tuko na support ya serikali sasa. Tulienda kwa waziri akasema sasa niambieni vile mnataka. Yes, because we collect for him. And by the way, remember, royalty is not the only income for him. In fact, royalty collection is income number 7. But it really matters because it captures all those other ecosystem. We collect for muziki kimbo kwa sherehe kama hii, ukiimbo kwa matatu, ukiimbo kwa media house, that's when we collect. So when the song comes, it will trend, it will be played, that's when you collect. Now after that, you're a vaida inaacha. So until you produce another one. So the question I was asking, how have we benefited a young man like this? If he missed the opportunity to reap 100%, probably got less than 10% because compliance without a license, without police enforcement has been less than 10%.
Tuliona mmepatia Steve Simba nyumba na mmempea gari.
Nani sasa?
Juzi nani amepewa?
MP Salasia.
Oh, MP Salasia. Alikuwa I'm sorry sir. Na vitu kama hivyo Steve ni msanii. Yeah, Steve Simba alipewa gari, nyumba, amenunuliwa nyumba. Na tumeona yeye akiwa mpya hivi na hizo vimbo wewe kama mheshimiwa unawajua na unamjua. Uliona ungemwekea standards ndio aendelee like kuwa tu mkali kwa sababu kuna kitu mmemwanzishia.